I think the greatest concern with Iran getting a nuke is not that Iran's going to strike anybody, which is the stupidest. I gotta be honest. When Israel's coming out and even people in the U.S. and they're like, Iran's going to get a nuke and they're going to get you, like, bro, they're not going to be able to build a rocket that's going to reach the United States. But it is going to get into the hands of some wackaloon, crazy ass people.
And didn't we look at a map?
Like the Houthis.
Yeah.
So if that were to happen, Persia gets turned into glass. I believe that the nuclear program in Tehran was for ultimately the purpose, or at least the facade of obtaining a nuclear weapon, but ultimately the nuclear program is their best piece of leverage. They learn from what happened to Saddam. They learn from what happened to Gaddafi. Errors, wars of choice that the United States undertook, and their whole strategy, I think, here is to move slowly but surely towards that nuclear bomb in order to create leverage. Because if they do attain the nuclear bomb, then you have a North Korea the size of Western Europe in the middle of Eurasia. That's what you have. You're going to make yourself a pariah. You're not going to be negotiating with the Chinese and the Russians to the same degree, or be a participant in global affairs to the same degree as they are now. And so I don't think the justification of a denuclearized Iran is enough. I think it would be wise for policymakers in the United States right now to think about how they're actually going to talk to the public about this war. Because everyone's posting on Twitter. Actually, if you look at polls, people are really supportive of striking Iran if it means preventing a nuclear weapon.
Trust polls.
People were, trust the polls. But people were really having an easy time saying that we should go into Iraq to get rid of the Saddam because the WMDs, and
Which
Bush
turned
was
out to be fake.
Which turned out to be fake, and Bush was underwater a year later on the war. And so what we need to start talking about now is, what is the plan? Iran is a Shia majority country. There's not many of them. Iran has 90 million people. That is bigger than Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and Libya combined, plus another Afghanistan on top of that. As I said, it's as big as Western Europe. So, are we okay with the mullahs and the Ayatollah retaining control of Iran if we go in there with B-2 bombers and blow up Fordow and decapitate their nuclear program? And guess what? If we're not, who's going to take the Ayatollah's place? Because I was promised from the neocons for years that if this happens, within 48 hours, people were going to be in the streets demonstrating and demanding the Ayatollah's head. That hasn't happened. The only demonstrations that we saw in Iran over the weekend were people demanding retribution against the Israelis for carrying out these strikes, and the United States too. So we can't forget that. So what takes its place? Is this another Syria 2.0? Does this let an Islamic state rear its head?
Than Syria. People don't understand how big Iran is.
Exactly.
They don't understand.
And look at the topography there, Tim.
All mountains.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think the likely scenario, Trump supporters largely do not want war with Iran. But Trump does have his key influencer base that are very culty. Not all of them, but many of them. If here's my prediction. U.S. military naval forces are going to go to guard the Strait of Hormuz. They're going to try and keep it open. They're going to say, we're not getting involved in this. There will be an attack on our vessels or whatever.
Probably
assets.
not by the Iranians, by the Houthis most likely.
Maybe. Who knows? All that matters is that they come out on TV and say, U.S. men and women in uniform have been attacked by Iran. We were trying to maintain the Strait of Hormuz to keep it open, because this is also Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Oman. They're saying, we can't allow Iran to shut down trade for all of these nations. They attacked us. We have no choice. You've already got the narrative. Netanyahu's been saying this. Iran's trying to kill Trump. I am fairly certain the moment Trump comes out and says, we cannot allow our brave men and women in uniform to be attacked by a foreign adversary. We are simply trying to maintain trade, but they have invoked our ire by attacking our good people. I wouldn't be surprised if even men and women in uniform die. Trump's base is going to, on a dime, say, yep, Trump's right. They're going to go right for it.
And the left comes back.
I think a certain amount of his base. I think the base is going to fracture.
It's already fractured.
It's already
we're watching it fracture big time today. It's been happening.
You know what's funny is, like, doesn't it seem to be mostly the people that were pro DeSantis are now happy with Trump's saber rattling?
The war thing.
They're like, we like what Trump is doing now.
Yep.
I wonder how long a show like this can last when we are anti-intervention. Back in the day, in like the Bush era, the only voices you heard were pro-Iraq war, pro-Afghanistan war, because the media was controlled. If you wanted to appear as a personality, you either were the select, low charisma anti-war activist, so you can feign the opposition or make them look stupid, or you were basically just, you agree with the war to varying degrees. Yeah. Now you've got a show like this, which is decently large, and we're all relatively, now we shouldn't be involved in this.
Can I say Pat Buchanan is a patriot who saw all of this coming?
Yep. He called he called for Tulsi Gabbard to be national security advisor back in the first Trump administration.
Yeah. And you know, he founded the magazine that I used to work for and am a contributing editor at now. And he was called an unpatriotic conservative. There was pieces in the Weekly Standard and in the Public Interest and in National Review attacking these people for not getting on board with taking out Saddam Hussein in Iraq.
Yeah.
And these people, when they're riled up in these warlike passions, I mean, we've seen the bloodlust on social media. I mean, it's gross. I saw people retweeting that clip of that news agency, of course, it's state TV in Iran, getting blown up, saying, how awesome is this? Look at this little terrorist mouthpiece getting blown up. It's terrifying. It's horrifying to think that. And if they get whipped up like this, I mean, people are going to lose their careers. They're going to lose their careers over accusations of being a traitor. They're going to lose their careers to being called anti-Semitic. They're going to lose their careers for not going along with the propaganda. And guess what? At the end of the day, we're still going to have an incredibly destabilized Middle East if we go through with the regime change war in Iran.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.